Hello and welcome to the Not Quite Otaku Anime Podcast Episode 7. I'm Joe.
And I'm Brandon.
And today we're going to be doing another segment of Does It Hold Up? And today we are going to be talking about... What are we going to be talking about, Brandon?
We're going to be talking about Goku Midnight Eye, which is a show I watched a few years ago, and I just wanted you to watch it, so I suggested we do this.
Exactly. So this time Brandon made the suggestion of it, and this is the one where I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into. And he knew what I was getting into, which I guess I was thinking about last time when we talked about Pet Shop of Horrors, but I also didn't know what we were getting into then. I just knew what it was. I just heard of it.
Yeah,
so
you had at least done a little bit of looking into it, I guess. I watched the first episode completely blind of that. Like, I just
this is completely different. Never mind. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Goku Midnight Eye. Has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z. Not that anyone would think that, but in case you did, it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, it's so hard to not think of Goku from Dragon Ball when you hear anything named Goku.
Well, and it's the Monkey King is the original inspiration there,
True.
Which it also has nothing to do with Journey to the West. So just clear that up too.
This is not except. Yeah, well, there's one thing I was like, is this a reference? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, Goku Midnight Eye. So this is a 2-episode OVA. Came out in 1989 based on the manga. I tried to do a little research on it, and boy, is there no information on the internet.
Yep, this is definitely a forgotten show, I guess. Movie? What do you call an OVA? OVA, I guess.
It's like I saw IMDb called it a miniseries, so we can go with that.
Yeah, that's probably appropriate. Yeah, and especially because it's directed by Kawajiri, who has some other things from the 80s that are at least known for their, like, I don't even know if you'd say cult classic, but like Wicked City and Demon City Shinjuku.
Yeah, people like them,
and then Ninja Scroll is the one I think most people know. But like this show in a lot of ways,
2 out of 3 of those are good.
And it's not Ninja Scroll.
No, yeah, right. Yeah, that's like the hot take. It's not Ninja Scroll's trash. No, it's not. I like it. You do too. I think still.
Yeah, I do.
We'll talk about it.
It's been a long
maybe.
time. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so who knows actually. But
it'd actually be fun to revisit. Maybe we'll do that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was trying to like find some stuff about it, and like for real, there's just nothing. It's like the Wikipedia page is pathetic, and everything else is just nothing there.
Even the fandom Wikipedia pages have nothing. Maybe a character list at most. Like with no description, just pictures. I did come across that.
Yeah, like you can find a lot of like Google image search works. I guess you can find some stuff, but yeah. So it's interesting because although I don't think people necessarily think of this ever, maybe, or in general, but I don't know. I just figured that, especially like you said, with the director being who it is and stuff, that I was just surprised that there was so little information about it. I was trying to like maybe just see if there was more, and there really isn't. So
yeah, I would have. The only reason I ever heard of this is I sometimes will scroll through Amazon looking at what anime is there, and it was there. So that's my entire extent of hearing about this.
Which is like always a fun way to find stuff when it's just totally, unexpected kind of stuff. When you're just looking through things and you happen upon it. But yeah. So we both took a look at it. You had seen it, I had not. And I don't know, where do you want to begin?
Well, I guess we should just a little background. So this is
duh. Yeah, that'd be helpful.
The show was made in '89.
Yeah,
and it's set in a futuristic Tokyo, but in that it's 2014, which is no longer futuristic. Also, not at all resembling what our world looks like. But but in this version of Tokyo, people having cybernetic enhancements is normal. Tokyo was destroyed by a big earthquake and rebuilt. That's never addressed as anything important, but they do tell you that.
They just keep talking about it.
Yeah. They
just keep reminding you that the city gets destroyed and they just rebuild it all over again.
Yeah, but maybe it's all not relevant because it's just 2 OVAs and they never got that far. But seems like much like a lot of things in this show, a little disjointed. But so this follows the eponymous hero Goku, who is a private investigator who used to be a policeman, and he is
detective. I don't know if that makes a difference, but whatever.
And So I guess the first thing that struck me is his character design encompasses what this show is, and that's like complete nonsense that takes itself seriously. So like, cause he wears a suit jacket and a tie with no undershirt, and he's just got like his abs hanging out the whole time, and it's like, why? Yeah. Did you not notice this?
I probably did. I just kind of forgot. I don't know. I forget these things.
That immediately struck me. It's like, oh, look at this cool guy with his suit jacket but no shirt underneath, and he wears a tie.
He had that the entire... He does.
Yeah, yes, he does the entire time. I can't believe you didn't notice that.
I think I just got so used to it, I didn't notice. You're right. He does have that the entire time. That is so funny. I think it just looked like I don't know. I just thought... I guess it just kind of... The series is ridiculous anyway. Like, that's probably the least ridiculous thing you'll see watching it, so maybe I just blocked it out.
But it is. I mean, it's complete and utter nonsense. Everything is nonsense, and a lot of it, like the first OVA, is an absolute romp of.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Like, it's
the whole thing is just bonkers. Like, also one thing I just want to point out really quick is that it is it's a cyberpunk. So you've got a lot of, like you said, people with cybernetic parts and that like body transformation kind of stuff that you'd see in cyberpunk, and so there was like a lot of that late 80s anime where it's like body horror, body transformation, kind of like everyone's got some sort of appendage that has been mutilated and changed, or they've got some whatever thing growing out of something. So just to give some context too, it's got like a little bit of that cyberpunk vibe to it, and of course like that 80s feel, being that it was from the 80s.
Yes, but it definitely feels like it is incredibly from the 80s, like as much as you can be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's got the hair, it's got the
soundtrack, it's got the dark city bright lights flashing, like just
lots of neon.
Yeah, everything about it.
But yeah, we have this main character Goku, who is a former detective, now a private investigator, who I guess we could just talk about. So basically there's a point in it where he loses his eye and it is replaced with a cybernetic eye that can now connect to every satellite, like all of these computer networks. He can get all this information into his eye.
Yeah, and it's another thing, they remind you that he could control nukes if he wants to. They remind you of that a couple times as well, and it's like, well, they didn't make it a plot point at all. Just to remind you. Like,
just let you know if he wanted to, he could.
Yeah.
And then he also has this staff that can expand seemingly to any length.
And that is the one Journey to the West connection.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
But this is it's a metal staff that just extends as long as it possibly can, and also shoots bullets.
And like beams, doesn't it?
So he refers to it as a bullet at one point, but it looks like beams, laser beams, and it's inconsistencies and just like absolute nonsense is what. Yeah, what you're watching.
And it is also like the greatest pole vault of all time. Basically, he also uses it as that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I guess like to quickly, the first OVA centers around there's multiple detectives. His former partners are all mysteriously dying of suicide, or what looks to be suicides, and he finds that to be kind of coincidental. He goes to investigate it, and then the second OVA, so they're unrelated in terms of plot, is about a woman who is looking for her presumably dead brother. And I gotta look at the names again because I had it and I forgot. It's Ryoko and Ryota, I think. Ryoko's the...
And Ryoko and just Ryu, I believe.
No, it's Ryota.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, she might call him that. I remember I wrote it down. That's the only reason why.
Okay.
But yeah. So that's like the two plots, and I guess we could just start like with the first one, or just talk about. Yeah, first I have to agree with you. This is so ridiculous, this anime, but it's awesome ridiculous in my opinion. Like it is. I mean, man, I don't even know where to start.
So I guess we can start kind of at the beginning. So like
it's a great place.
Yeah, you're introduced to the character, ridiculous character design. He catches a bad guy,
The guy's got a crazy arm that turns into a giant gun.
You know, he stabs him through the chest with like a lead pipe he broke off or something, which is I think supposed to be just foreshadowing to the bow staff he's going to get later on. That's all well and good, and then you get the strip club scene. Yeah. And this sets up a long line of, in the first OVA, not a single woman ever wears clothes other than like one scene where the policewoman is at
basically,
work, basically.
Kyoko, I think it is. Like anytime she's working, or I'm sorry, Yoko. Sorry.
Yeah, Yoko.
I don't want to say Yoko, but that's true. That's actually, I didn't think about that. Every woman is topless in this.
Yeah, and you have
at least
this scene in a strip club where there is a like half woman, half motorcycle stripper who does not speak, just like makes animal noises, and
but
again,
you don't know that yet.
Well,
until later
she growls during this part.
Oh,
like,
that's true.
Yeah, she doesn't speak.
But little do you know,
growls,
that's all she does. Yeah.
But yeah, you get more out of it later. But like, and it's just, that's what the show is. It's
weird. Yeah, it's
like someone decided, let's make this character design where it's a woman with handlebars and a seat coming out of her back, presumably so someone can ride her, and like, yeah, that's sexy, I guess, or that's like appealing in some. I don't understand why anyone made that. I just don't get it.
And the one guy is like check out the girl with the Harley on her back or whatever, and like they're all like super into it watching it, and I'm like, yeah.
Is it like men like motorcycles and men like women?
Yeah, like women.
Let's
what
put
if we
them
just fuse them together? Yeah, it's really funny, but like, I mean, interesting character design. I mean, good for that. I think that's what this is about. There's also another woman in it who has peacock feathers just come out from her back.
Yeah, which is a little strange again, because like everyone else has these cybernetic enhancements, and she seems like she has living peacock feathers coming out of her. And it's
like, also weird because it's the male peacock that has those feathers.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Not the female. So I thought that was kind of weird, but maybe I'm the only one who probably noticed that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, but it does make sense because what is happening is a lot of these people, they see these sets of eyes.
Yeah,
and
oh, go ahead.
And it just causes them to then either to then kill themselves. So what ends up happening in this strip club is one of the detectives shoots himself, and that kind of is what spawns this entire investigation. This was like the last straw sort of thing, and so basically this, I mean, I don't want to give stuff away necessarily, but to kind of go through, you have this crime boss who is sort of the puppet master of all this, I guess you could say, and Goku has to try to stop him. That's the quick and to the point version, and I think I would point out, I think it's worth pointing out that he has the best apocalyptic plan, like evil genius plan. Oh my god!
I've ever encountered in anything, and it's to use the mating patterns of swans to infect the world with a deadly disease.
A virus. Yeah. I had to rewind it to make sure I heard it correctly. So I was like, "Is this really what I think it is?" And he's talking with these Russians, well, I guess Soviets.
Well, no, they don't even and that's another thing that got me in the script. So he says, "Your country's enemies will be like overtaken by." They don't even make up fake country names. Like,
yeah,
he legitimately says like the enemies of your country or something like that, and it's like, come on.
But it's pretty explicitly, like, clearly supposed to be like the Soviet Union, at the the guys that he's talking to. And that's a pretty stereotypical. If you're gonna be the enemy of the West during the 80s, it's gonna be let's help the Soviets out or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. This anime is like one crazy weird thing after another. There's these little wasp things that can, I guess, like infect you.
Yeah, they're not quite nanobots, like they're bug size machines that can be loaded with poison.
Yeah, and it's just this anime is just one wild thing after another. So I mean, there's just there's so many goofy things that happen, and again, like, also, like, nothing is explained. Like you said, he gets this cybernetic eye, and I had to like rewind it to check and see if I missed something, and then I got to the end of the first OVA and I was like, no, you didn't miss anything, because he literally goes, I don't know who gave me this eye, and I was like, great, because neither do I have no idea, and I was wondering if I missed it the entire time.
And it's another thing that's never addressed.
Yeah, he ends up having to stab himself in the eye. It gets replaced with the cybernetic eye. And he hears this voice. It tells him, I replaced your eye. That you can access all these things. And I'm like waiting. You don't know who. No explanation. No one ever says who did it, what happened. So then I guess you want to talk about we can talk about the second one really quick, and then I guess we'll talk about just if there are any specific things that just stood out to you about it, because like I said, this is such a wild anime, and also like fun. I don't want to give too much away if anyone wanted to watch it, but I also don't want to just.
So I guess I'll just talk about a little bit. So the opening scene of the second OVA is a setup scene, not really plot important, but it's like the main character Goku is crashing a rooftop pool party. The guy throwing the party is bad guy, convinces women that he can make them stars, takes advantage of them. Standard Hollywood bad guy type. And one thing, I'll give them credit on the second one. All the women are wearing bikinis, so this is your first time we're seeing a bunch of clothed women on screen.
Yeah.
But then it just goes right into that like batshit crazy rompus where he confronts the guy, and the guy pops out robotic legs with roller skates on the bottom and roller skates down the side of a building. And not to be one-upped, Goku then pole vaults off of this building and cuts him off somehow, and it's like a 100-story building. And that was as much as I enjoyed the second OVA. I thought the rest of it was boring and nonsense in a not fun way, and I think maybe it's because that was about an hour of watching, and that was my threshold for this show. It's about an hour, because I lost interest quick in the second one.
What? I watched these back to back, and I enjoyed it. So the second one, again, you have that first scene, which also I want to give credit to them for really making use of that pull into the concrete animation. I don't know if you noticed, but there was that one that just got recycled over and over again.
Yeah, it was like four or five times probably.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, good job, guys. Way to save on budget.
They were proud. They were proud of that one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was multifaceted. You could use it in a lot of situations. But so the second one, then you have Ryoko. She's looking for her brother Ryota. They were both adopted by this. I think he's a general. He's in the military. I can't remember his rank now, but her brother had been used. They'd done experiments with him, and he's kind of turned into this like superhuman thing. So it kind of focuses a lot on that. I think the second one definitely has a much more structured plot. It's a little bit more like it's crazy and weird, but at least it's a little more easy to follow.
It definitely has a more consistent story that it's telling. And it has like a beginning, middle, end. It really connects it does connect all the events of the second one for the most part, which is also a reason why I think I didn't really like it. Cause like what I liked about the first one was just how crazy it was. I didn't really the story wasn't good, but it was nonsense and in a fun way. And I think the second one lost that charm to me, like that it was no longer fun nonsense. It was just kind of boring nonsense.
So I wasn't interested in the story because there's some twists and turns in it that you start to find out, and I thought it was interesting. Also, can we just talk about, you want to talk about the craziest thing though? Crazy stuff. The craziest thing that ever happens is in this one, where Ryota decapitates a woman while having sex.
Yeah.
That has, I'm gonna spoil or whatever, but like that was what I watched that and I was like, this is absolutely just bonkers, because like there's parts where there's heads come off in the first one, but it's like not as crazy because it's maybe like cyber, but this was like just like whoosh, clean off, and then it's just like headless woman chilling in the corner for the rest of the scene, and it's just that was the one where I was like, wow, this
was probably the most wild thing that happened across these two. But I'll one up you with, I think the most like just like what did I just watch crazy thing was with the motorcycle lady, when someone was actually riding her like a motorcycle, but she's running like a gazelle, but he's throttling the handlebars and it's making revving sounds. And it's just like, none of this goes together. And if that sounds like nonsense, it's because it is. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, like none of it. This is such an anime of just like, and it kind of reminds me. I think it was Demon City Shinjuku is kind of like that, where there's a lot of this, lots of nudity, lots of.
There's a lot more gore in that one, if I recall. Though.
Yes,
this one is surprisingly tame gory compared to the other Kawajiri stuff I've seen. Like, I don't know if they had to keep the rating slightly down or something. I don't know, but
I don't know. But this definitely made up for it in the nudity department. I mean, because there's a part where Goku and his and Yoko, she's trying to seduce him, and then he almost gets killed that way. I mean, but it's just like one crazy thing after another. And I guess that's like, to sum this up, it is just one crazy thing after another, and I think that is like what makes it so enjoyable, at least. But again, I disagree with you in the sense of that the second one, I enjoyed it. Like, I guess I got invested in the story of like what happened. She's trying to find her brother. You find out some things she's not being completely truthful at points, and again, I think part of, and I'm curious about this and what you think, because I definitely know that this was, so I watched the dub because I'm trash. No, I'm kidding. But like, I watched the dub, and it's, so Steve Bloom, who does Spike's voice, does the voice of Goku.
Yeah.
And Wendy Lee, who does Faye's voice, she does Ryoko in the second one, in the second OVA. She's like the main female. And so there's like, and I think she did like a minor character's voice in the first one too, but like, so those were like super familiar voices to me, and very much my childhood, preteen, teen, adolescent, whatever, it's kind of like my youth hearing those voices. There's a bit of comfort to that, I feel like. Okay. And so I wonder if that, I mean, for me, I don't know, that's just, but it's one of those things that, I don't know if that made it a little more endearing. So like, that those two were the main characters of the second one, and hearing those voices, maybe in a weird way, my brain was just like, it's Spike and Faye. And so I was just interested in it. But one of the things that I think is interesting is that you can tell this was dubbed later, which made, I think, the voice acting quality in general better. But I don't know, I mean, thought that was interesting.
I wouldn't,
to an extent.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't say that the voice acting was good in this at all, and not even like good for its time.
No, it's not.
I feel like
it's cheesy.
Even Steve Bloom's, he did not bring it here. It's like,
there are so many like stupid one-liners in this too, but that's
true. I don't know if
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but just like a lot of really like,
you will never pull, or no one will ever pull the wool over my right eye again.
Oh yeah. Like, it's just like stupid stuff like that. But that's the kind of stuff that made it enjoyable. I think this is really enjoyable for me because also it is so cheesy and it doesn't take itself seriously, or it takes itself so seriously that it's ridiculous.
That's what I think I really appreciated about it, is, and like I said, especially the first one, is that it does take itself very seriously. Like, it doesn't break face. It never winks at the camera. It never like acknowledges how ridiculous it is. It like does the whole thing with a straight face all the way through, and I think that works with how nuts it is.
Yeah, if you were aware of how ridiculous it is, then I don't think it would land as well, because it'd just be goofy, but funny goofy. This is, I don't know, I watched it and just thought, like, how do you even think of this? Like, how does this, it's like, okay, we're gonna design this character.
Yeah, well, it was in the 80s, and I'm sure they were doing a lot of drugs. That is my conclusion.
I don't know, but it's definitely, there's so many things about it. I'm trying to think if there's some other things that stood out, but I will say you're right when we were talking about voice acting. To go back to that really quick though, is there was some, particularly Yoko, his the female partner in the first one, makes some weird vocal choices, and that it's kind of one of those things where I just don't know why. This is like a weird thing I've just noticed. I feel like watching some older stuff is that, in particular, the women voice actors have some really odd choices that I don't know if it was a directorial thing or what, but in that time period, some of the sounds that come out are just, I'm like, no one makes that noise. I don't know.
Well, when they're making kind of sexual sounds, but not in any sort of correct context, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, some of the line delivery, it's just weird. I don't know.
And they're trying, it almost sounds like they're trying to be sexy at all times. Like that was the only direction they were given. Just
you're a woman.
You're a woman. Try to sound sexy, and that wouldn't be surprising to me, considering how
the time period,
the time period, and how women in general are treated in this this show.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
Like they are very much. If it bugs you to see mischaracterizations of women, don't ever watch this, because it'll just make you mad and uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you, I would definitely say if you are uncomfortable with nudity in anime, if you're uncomfortable with the objectification of women in any capacity, this is not the anime for you. It's gonna make you all sorts of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Let's anime. I was saying animation wise though, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was surprised. It's solid. It is very reminiscent of the other. Like it seems like it had a budget. It's reminiscent of his other works of the time. Yeah, I don't have any complaints alongside the animation lines. I thought it looked good.
If you're epileptic, don't watch it though.
Well,
some of it hurt my eyes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of flashing lights in this. That is one thing, and it actually is a legit complaint.
Yeah, very 80s Dark City flashing lights.
There was like a couple times I just had to put my head down because I was about to, I don't know what, I get a headache or go into shock or something. But yeah, I think, I don't know. It's like hard. I'll be honest. I'm kind of struggling on what to specifically talk about with this, because I really do feel like it is an experience that people would have to just like to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to put into words just what is unique about this. I don't want to say, I don't necessarily want to use a positive word, but like special about it. But I don't know. It's a thing you have to see to understand. It's just, you can't explain it. It won't make sense.
I think so. This might maybe help to kind of give some description of it. But I when I was watching it, I wrote down a few words that I thought described it. It's gritty, it's dirty, and it's nasty. It's like a real nasty anime in the sense of like, it's just like, it gets uncomfortable. It gets weird. It gets like, it's just a filthy place, just with weird, filthy, nasty, dirty things, and everyone's kind of just nasty and dirty. And I think maybe nasty is the word I'd use.
Yeah,
it's kind of nasty.
Fair.
And so if you like that, like in the sense of, if you kind of like to see those, like the seedy underworld, the seedy underbelly of a place, and that sort of, the darker side of life, I think it's something that is, could be enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd give it that much credit.
All right, maybe not.
You might be going, I don't think it's that deep necessarily, but I kind of get what you're saying.
It's high art.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. No.
Yeah, well, I don't understand it then, because I'm a common person.
No.
But
you're not missing anything.
I think this is the perfect thing to watch with like a few friends that you can kind of make fun of it through, but also appreciate like the individual crazy scenes that you do get. That's what I think it is.
I mean, I guess, do you want to just like, we can just say what we think?
Yeah, we just wrap up. I don't think we need much more. So
I'm realizing, like, here's the thing, is just like, I think if you're gonna watch this, you just should go watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, well, first off, we just want to go with like officials. Does it hold up, Brandon?
I would say no. It does not hold up.
Right.
I enjoyed watching. I thoroughly enjoyed the first OVA. I didn't enjoy the second one at all. I wouldn't recommend this specifically to anyone. I still think the first one's worth a watch. But hold up, I think, means it's good, and I don't think it's good. I think it's so bad that it's entertaining.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think it does hold up.
Okay.
I think it holds up because it is just bonkers enough, but like, I really enjoyed watching it. in like I said, it's like in the horrible sense of watching something. Like, you're like, what you're watching is all like the most depraved, trashy stuff in a way. But it was fun in a like a horrible way. But it was like fun in the sense just like it is mindless. It makes no sense. There are so many plot holes. Nothing is explained. It's just over the top crazy, but it's fun. And I liked both stories, or both OVAs. And again, it's only, to watch the two OVAs, you're basically spending about 2 hours.
Yeah, not even quite. I think they're like 48 and 52 or something like that.
Yeah. And I think they're well animated enough. The voice acting, like we said, isn't that great, but it's cheesy, but in the best, like in a good way. It's not unbearable to listen to. And I'm sure if you wanted to listen to it subbed, it might be better. But like, yeah, I think it's like, it is. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it isn't, like there isn't more, or like more people don't talk about it. I guess that was something I wanted to bring up, is that I would be interested in seeing more of it. Like I wish, like I would have wanted to see more craziness and more stories and more whatever. And I wonder if ever someday maybe someone will rediscover it. I don't think it would work again. Like if you try to do it today, I think it's very much a product of its time.
I think I agree with that completely. I don't think you could make this in 2020 and it be enjoyable. Like it doesn't seem like it would fit.
Yeah, it definitely feels to me like a missed. And again, I wish I could find out more. It just seems like there's not. I guess I'd like to see how much the manga goes through and what's there. But
that only had a few volumes, I think. So I don't. Yeah. Like it ran for two years, maybe slightly less than.
Yeah, it was like 2 years. And so I guess I just wish, like, I feel like it was a missed opportunity, and I wish I could see more. I wish there were more than just the two, because it is stupid and it is crazy, but it's fun. And if you like, I'd say especially if you like stuff, if you like any of his other stuff, and you like Ninja Scroll or Wicked, well, I don't like Wicked City. I'll just say it. I don't like Wicked City.
I can't believe anyone likes Wicked City,
but Demon City Shinjuku wasn't bad, like stuff like that. If you like that kind of stuff, I mean,
this is perfect for you.
Perfect for you, and I think it's worth checking out. So I think it does hold up. I think it's still worth a visit even today, especially if you're a fan of anime and you want to kind of just find some more, I don't know, just like not as common stuff, I guess. You want to kind of just go off the beaten path a little bit. It's a fun 2 hours, in my opinion.
I see, and that's I think where we disagree. I think it was a fun 1 hour, but that's my opinion.
Fair enough.
Watch the first one. If you like it a lot, then don't watch the second one. That's my recommendation.
I say watch them
both.
Don't
ruin it.
But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say for this. I'll be honest. I wish I was a little more. I wish I could like put into words better what I thought of this. But my advice to anyone is to just go watch it. I guess it's just sort of, this is our PSA to the world to say
it is an experience. So
go experience Goku Midnight Eye, and then tell your friends about it, because it is something that is, I think, just if you're an anime fan, it's worth checking out, just because it is so bonkers and off the wall.
Yeah,
that's not even off the wall. This is off the wall. Where lasers shooting out people's mouths.
Not nonsense. It's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
utter nonsense.
It's utter fun nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that's it. Bye, everyone. No. But no, I think that'll do it for us. So, you can see how you feel. If you think you're more of a Brandon type, don't watch it, or watch the first one. And if you think you're more like me, watch both of them, or whatever. But be interesting to hear what other people would think. I hope someday this gains some traction and more people watch it. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But
yeah, I would agree. I do think it deserves a little more of a mention than it ever gets, I guess, because like you said, there's nothing out there about it. So
yeah. So that'll do it for us for today. So thanks for listening and checking in. You can check us out on YouTube, Wooster Stream. You can find all our other podcast episodes on there. You can also find some other stuff. So if you enjoy that, you can always like and subscribe things on there. Yeah, that'll do it. So thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time.